What's up guys, it's the Devil's Talon here, and in today's video we have another installment of viewer VOD reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at Maximasma and how his duo performed in NA West DreamHack at being an EU duo. But before I get into this video guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. Also, for me to continue this series, I need VODs to review. If you want your gameplay reviewed, please DM me either on Instagram or Twitter. Those social links are down below in the description. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Alright, as you can see on the screen, we have Maximasma's POV. And the most glaringly obvious issue I saw with this duo was not coordinating their fights, which is especially crucial on high ping. I did a high ping VOD review with Nanolight and Fernando as they qualified for EU DreamHack. They are playing NA West DreamHack right here. Notice a significant amount of pre-fight damage, so it should be an insta push. But you're going to see what ends up happening. They end up getting a little bit split, and Jack is going to go down, which is ultimately going to lead to their death. Just again, and this was going to be constant. I'm going to be showing that in a couple of future engagements. Now, they have a ton of pre-fight damage. This would be a good example, especially on high ping, to go down there and crash pad in and try and end this fight quickly. The longer this fight goes, this is going to definitely benefit more than likely the other team because they're more than likely going to be at a lower ping. And so there's pressuring. Jack is pressuring, so one is sitting up on higher and one sitting on low. I think it would have been okay as soon as they've cracked both to shock in, and then one shocks in. Now Jack should either immediately go down to his teammate right here, but ends up getting isolated in a 1v2 build fight. And he goes, "I've been bullied," and that is a GG's. And again, if they were just together while he healed or cracked, they can then make the shockwave play together. Again, they have such significant amount of mobility. Another option, again, was after getting all those cracks and that pre-fight damage, to go down and end the fight quickly with the crash pad play. Being on high ping, that's definitely going to be recommended. So let's just take a look at the next engagement where this kind of occurs. Alright, again, we're into another engagement or portion of the VOD review. This actually isn't going to be an engagement. And look at the significant distance between Maximasma and his duo. They're at least, I don't know, 50, 60 meters away. And you're going to see what unfortunately happens is that Jack gets picked off. Now, again, this may have not been avoidable because his controller did disconnect. So again, something that I would just recommend, you want to stay just a little bit tighter. He had no chance to get over to him. He goes, "I'm literally so mad." It's definitely the worst. But again, if he was a little bit closer, you could have maybe built for him to allow him to reconnect his controller. And it's just a thing, just a tad bit too much distance, and you're seeing it's going to end up getting them, one of them getting picked off, which is just very, very, very unfortunate in duos. Again, just this duo needs to work on just staying a little bit tighter together during their rotations and coordinating their fights better. Alright, we're up to the next engagement or next portion of the clip, and again, this clip demonstrates why being so far from your duo is extremely bad and is going to cost. Now, if you look at the map, they're even further than where they were when they were in Slurpee. Here is his duo mate Jack. Here is Maximasma, while one is fishing, and Jack is also extremely low. And look, he finds two shieldfish, and imagine if they had been together, he could have ate the shieldfish and not gotten absolutely lasered. And now Jack gets picked off, and Maximasma is immediately put into a 1v2 situation. And more than likely is not going to be able to get the card, just looking at the fact that he only has an AR. So just again, staying together and coordinating your fights is extremely crucial, even when you're on your own server, but even more so when you are on high ping. Your comms, the staying sticky, are absolutely the most ideal if you want to succeed when playing on a different server than what you're than your own server. Alright, we're going to a Stark engagement. They are W King. obviously. So now we have excellent, we have a spaz, we have shocks, we have a gold og.
Above me.
Notice how, again, they're kind of split separate on different layers.
Oh my god, I'm one. I need help. Right, one. Dead. Nice.
Again, notice how they just get picked off. They're not really coordinating their engagements together, and I understand this is off spawn, but this has been a constant theme where they've been a significant amount of distance where they can't really help with building or holding walls or getting an engagement. Imagine how having a purple spaz would have been that extremely helpful. But he's going to end up getting a good amount of damage, getting his finish, and getting the card. But again, it's just something that has just been repeated over. There's always a significant distance between Maximasma and his duo, and this is again going to constantly lead to one of them getting picked off. Maximasma in this duo only ended up making 2 end games. They ended up winning their first game, and this is their second game. This wasn't a major theme of the video as opposed to the isolation as they do on not coordination of fights. But again, dying with utility is the absolute worst thing you could do. This is a max pull rotate. The tarping shouldn't even be considered out of the question at this point when you have these shocks to take this first moving zone. This should have definitely shocked both as a duo, but then one ends up getting picked off. And imagine how much easier that would have been if they would have shocked together. So a little bit wasted utility. And that's why crash pads aren't the best for getting up and getting ahead compared to shocks. Good layer switch here. But again, they also, in that previous engagement, the first one of the video where they were in Stark, they died with a ton of mobility because they just didn't use the crash pads to get in and didn't coordinate their fights. But just something I would just make sure to use your utility endgame when you have it. The layer drop right there probably wasn't the best, because now you're on ultimate low. But what's going to end up happening is they're going to end up getting picked off. So again, just something I wanted to mention just a tad bit is just to make sure that this duo in the future just uses their utility and endgame with that max distance of with that long of a rotate, a max pull on first moving. You just want to double shock, get together and shock again, especially when they didn't have too many materials. They could have then used their crash pads later on and coordinated stuff, but again, one gets kind of picked off, not covering the back of their tarp, and that was just a constant thing, is just one getting constantly picked off. They never really worked together enough to really get picked off as a duo. They were just usually a little bit split. That they were in the same tarp. That was just an unfortunate mistake, one going back. Again, there wasn't really anything too beneficial going back in that particular situation. So I would just, again, for the future in this duo, make sure you're actually maximizing your utility. Maximasma and his duo's gameplay were not all bad. The biggest thing that I saw that they had a great understanding of was positioning. This is from their first game where they end up getting a victory royale, and look at where they are on the lobby. Almost everyone is going to be in front of them, and they are on an extremely dead side and have a little bit of elevation. Now when zone pulls their way, they make the correct decision to immediately go for it, and they're going to end up holding high ground for the rest of the match, easily netting a victory royale. However, just because they had good RNG with their, I guess, fifth zone doesn't mean that it was all luck. Their early on positioning allowed them to easily make this rotate, getting on a very uncongested side. And again, when you are on 90 plus ping, playing for placement is definitely the way to go. You're going to definitely get more points from playing placement and getting picks endgame than W King. They consistently showed good placement throughout their VOD reviews, throughout this VOD review when I was going through their games. Whenever Maximasma or Jack would get established, even as a solo, they were setting up very, very well for next zones. And this is going to definitely benefit them when they're on their own server. As like I said, the biggest issue again is coordinating their fights. Well guys, that is going to do it for today's VOD review. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you for the next viewer VOD review. Peace.